Hello everyone, this is TheShadowedOne1, and it's that time of the year again. It is the end of 2019, and that means the end of another year of movies. And because I love movies, I felt like I have to do another top 10 this year. It's down to the mark, and this year has been kind of just meh on movies. We've had a lot of good ones, we've had a lot of bad ones, same every year. I'm just gonna get right away into the point. These are my top 10 movies of 2019. At number 10, we have Toy Story 4, a film that I really had no intention of seeing. Just feel like it was completely unnecessary, and I was blown out of the water because it not only feels like a true sequel, it literally is a great expansion on the character, and we get to see these evolution of Woody and Buzz, and the ending just leaves you in tears. It surely left me in tears, and I didn't think that would ever happen. I thought for sure this film would just be like, a necessary sequel that didn't need to happen, and in fact, it was probably one of the few sequels I've seen that is actually, granted, I didn't think I would put it on my top 10, but in the end, it really deserved to be here. At number 9, we have How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Honestly, another animated film that I was actually anticipating for, but this franchise I never really gave a crap about until I saw the second one. I never really gave much of a look at these films until I saw the second one. I wanted to see it because the animation looked incredible, and then it blew me away how good it was. And then the third one brought it all back, and I love these characters, seeing them grow up and how they evolved. It just felt another tearjerker ending. It was kind of perfect. That's really all to say about How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. At number 8, we have It Chapter 2, another sequel on this list, and I loved It Chapter 2. I thought it was a good film, not as good as the first one, but still a worthy sequel that combined everything, and it wrapped up all the story very well. Bill Skarsgård absolutely killed it again. He could have been in the movie a little bit more, but I loved him. The casting, the thing that saves this movie above all else. This probably has one of the best casted films of all time, honestly, and that by itself just deserves to be on this list. And it didn't need to be 3 hours long, but still, it's a fantastic sequel. Not as good as the first one, obviously, but still, I think it's worthy, and it doesn't deserve as much flack as it does. At number 7, we have Alita: Battle Angel, another film that I didn't think I would be interested in seeing or even wanted to see, but it's Robert Rodriguez, it's James Cameron working together, and you think James Cameron doesn't like to work with other directors, and yet the two of them worked so perfectly together, and it made such a great film. Alita is such a well-rounded character, and the visual effects are absolutely out of this world and incredible. Almost, it's not quite War for the Planet of the Apes because it's still Uncanny Valley, but the action sequences in this film are amazing. The visual effects. This film is completely underrated, and I think everyone should go see it, and I hope this film wins some awards because it deserves it. It's a very underrated film, and everyone should go see it. At number 6, we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film? I don't know, because he keeps saying what films are in order. This movie was super long, and it was very tiresome to deal with at theater during work hours. But this movie was just so good. It felt like an old-timey classic film, and I enjoyed the hell out watching it. The performances were great. The ending is absolutely worth watching the entire 3-hour movie. The ending's it's just chaos and carnage, and it's one of the most satisfying scenes in movie history, that ending. I think that's absolutely worth watching the entire movie. But that's why Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is on my list. At number 5, we have John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Again, we've had this, it's just another year of sequels, but this is one film that, so good. There's something so satisfying about seeing Keanu Reeves slap the butt of a horse, and that horse kills someone when it kicks him. I mean, it just has, every kill is so good. And Halle Berry is so good. I mean, the action sequences, some of the best action sequences I've ever seen in a movie ever. And we're going to get another film. You know what? And honestly, I do feel a little cheated with this Chapter 3 not being the end, but fine. As long as we get more Keanu Reeves killing people in interesting ways, I'm all for Chapter 4. But this movie was amazingly directed, and we don't really come for the writing, but Keanu Reeves can act the hell out of scenes, and I enjoyed the hell out of him in this movie, and it was really good. And the mythology of the story is growing, and I can't wait to see where they take it next. At number 4, we have Ford vs. Ferrari, a film that I literally had no anticipation to go to see, but I kind of want to see just because of the actors. Matt Damon and Christian Bale are absolutely incredible in this movie. They deserve Oscars. Christian Bale, once again, does some, like the fighter, he better win a Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor, because technically he was the main character of the movie. I can't really tell, because technically it focuses on Matt Damon's character. But this is a film that you absolutely should go watch, especially if you're not a fan of racing movies. It's just a great movie to watch. There's a scene where Matt Damon and Christian Bale are just kind of fighting, kind of sprawling it out, and instead of grabbing a aluminum can to bash Christian Bale over the head with, I believe, he grabs a piece of bread and knocks him over the head, and it was hilarious. And the dynamics between these two characters and the friendship they have formed in this real life history, it's kind of like a documentary, and I learned more about the history from my dad. It's one of the fastest movies you'll ever watch. In fact, I wish it was longer. This is one of those films that I wish was longer, and I would have told the difference, because that's how good of a movie it was. At number 3, we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the sequel I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this film forever. Ever since the first Godzilla, since the new Godzilla in 2014. This film had everything. It had Godzilla, more screen time for Godzilla, more character. Actually, Godzilla actually became a character. It had Rodan, finally going to see Rodan in an American film, and also Mothra. But the biggest thing, the thing that sold me on this movie, was King Ghidorah. Seeing King Ghidorah on the big screen was absolutely amazing. And the action sequences were out of this world, explosive. It was everything about this movie is everything a Godzilla fan should want. Now, yes, the characters are least to be desired, but come on. No one comes to a Godzilla film for the human characters. Everyone wants the monsters, and we got tons of monsters. We got the most faithful and respectful version of King Ghidorah ever. In fact, I say this is the best version of Ghidorah since the original Toho film. And we got some great just monsters working together and some of the best action sequences ever seen in a monster film. I have nothing else to say. This is probably my most anticipated movie of the year, besides number 2, that is. At number 2, we have Avengers Endgame, the film we've been waiting forever for, the culmination of 10 years of Marvel Cinematic Films, finally here, and it did not disappoint. The final battle, the on your left moment, everything about this movie was absolutely mind-blowing. The only problem I had with it is that it did not need to be 3 hours long. And if it was going to be 3 hours long, they should have had more scenes of past Thanos, because Thanos is still one of the most iconic villains ever, and not having enough of him kind of results in this film not being a number 1. But I still loved having Josh Brolin as Thanos, seeing the end of some of our favorite characters. Sorry, spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie by now, where the hell have you been? Seeing the sacrifice of Iron Man, seeing the redemption of a lot of the characters, seeing Captain America finally get that happy ending he deserved. It just, everything about this movie wrapped up so perfectly and so satisfyingly that why it's not number 1 is kind of baffling. Well, I know why it's not number 1, but because there was just a better movie. And now, without further ado, we have number 1. And the best movie of 2019 is Joker. What more is there to say about Joker? This movie has been, it's been blowing up everyone's minds. It's inciting chaos. It's gonna incite madness and violence, and I like bull crap. In fact, this movie has taught me anything. It's like, be nicer to people. People should not be walking over people. We should be helping each other out. And that's what this film taught me. And it also taught me that, don't, if you get what you freaking deserve. See, I've been on Heath Ledger bandwagon all this time, and I still am. Heath Ledger's still the best Joker, but Joaquin Phoenix plays the hell out of this movie. And if he doesn't get an Oscar, what was the whole point? He absolutely killed it in this movie. It was all about the Joker. It was 2 hours of pure Joker. Now, we didn't get Joker until like the last 20 minutes, really. The transformation of becoming the Joker, that was the main story. And this film is absolutely incredible. I think it's way ahead of its time, honestly. Todd Phillips did something that really shouldn't have worked. This movie should have failed. It should have never have worked. The studio themselves had no faith in this project. They split profits with other studios, and now look where that came from. This movie had like $50 million budget, and it's made over $1 billion. That's how all films should be made. This film will absolutely change how cinema should be made. It's dark, it's sad, it's depressing, but it's acted the hell out of, and it sends a message, which is exactly what Heath Ledger Joker talked about. And that's it, guys. That wraps it up for the best movies of 2019 and why Joker is number 1 on my list. Thank you guys for watching. Have a happy new year, and I'll be seeing you next year in 2020 where hopefully we'll get some more really great movies. See you later.